The end of season 4 is like we're heading to the inevitable. You know, I refer to this as season 4 is the beginning of the end, you know, and I think it's only going to get tougher for the characters, for Jesus, for us as actors, because I think that the limits of how we'll be tested in these kinds of scenes, I think it's going to challenge us, you know, as actors, which is great.
Do you think I've come to give peace on earth? I've not come to bring peace, to sword, division.
Amigos de Película, yo soy Riva y es un placer estar conversando con parte del elenco de la exitosísima serie The Chosen. Están con nosotros Jonathan Rumi, Shahar Isaac, Abe Bueno Bajalat y Vanessa Benavente. Welcome to Mexico. Congratulations on this new season. How are you feeling?
Good.
Exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting. Jonathan, how does it has been to grow up with this character, this significant role, on strength, on vulnerability, and what have you learned from this experience of season 4 that are you taking along for what's next to come?
It's been extraordinary being, you know, familiar and connected to the character of Jesus from the time I was a kid, and then watching, you know, films and TV shows or miniseries with the character and being personally impacted as a kid myself, and then to get to do it many years later myself and play the role of Jesus is just is a bit of a dream come true. You know, I think there's so much, as you said, happening in season 4. I think we're really excited about seeing the season, seeing the characters, seeing the story evolve and mature to a level where we get to experience other sides of characters' personalities, their emotions, the emotional spectrum for each and every one of the characters this season is just off the charts. And I think fans and audiences are going to be impacted around the world.
Shahar, let's talk about that. This is a season in which we find so many tension building up. How emotionally challenging was to you to experience, to go through what Simon Peter faces in this one, with his internal struggles, with his friends, with his relationship that's changing with everything around him?
I feel this show and the writers of this show created, you know, so many characters that are whole and complete and complex that almost every season you feel like you're playing a different character. And you know, and then every season starts in a certain way and finishes in a certain way, and so yeah, it feels very kind of I believe the other characters, and I'm as a viewer, I'm into it. I want to watch them and see how they grow. And as someone playing it, it's just fun. It's fun to do every season, to go through all these emotional retos.
Abe, you know, this is a season where friendship takes a leading part. In any friendship, it's inevitable to have a moment of friction or tension. And that's what we will be able to see in season 4 of The Chosen. What's the biggest lesson on friendship we all can take for what we'll be seeing in this season?
I think that if your friendships don't ever encounter those tests, then they're kind of maybe doomed in a way. I think that you see so many of the apostles tested. I mean, even my relationship with my brother in the show is tested because of preferences on who he wants to spend his time with. And so you see all of these, we go through all of these tests, but ultimately they are, if they don't break us, they are bringing us closer together. And I think that's where you do see, like Shahar's character has that pivotal moment. I have that pivotal moment where I have to humble myself and realize that, you know what, my brother has to be there for somebody else. Or getting to relate with little James, right? Someone who's like in many ways going through his own tests. So I think that if friendships aren't tested in some way, maybe not even in the friction internally, but externally, then they might break at a certain point.
I am the life that overcomes death.
What was your state of mind and spirit to embark on this new season and the challenges we know are coming for each one of you? How was that starting this new season, Jonathan?
You know, I think we all felt season 3 was a bit of a beast. And then we got into season 4 and we're like, oh, that was nothing. So I think the circumstances of the physical circumstances of filming in the locations we film, the emotional circumstances on the page for the entire season for so many characters, it became really another bigger mountain to climb and to conquer, which I think we did very successfully, and I think fans will really enjoy the season. So, you know, I think the thing that we have to walk away with, you know, at the end of season 4 is like we're heading to the inevitable. You know, I refer to this as season 4 is the beginning of the end, you know, and I think it's only going to get tougher for the characters, for Jesus, for us as actors, because I think that the limits of how we'll be tested in these kinds of scenes, I think it's going to challenge us, you know, as actors, which is great. But I think it's you know, it's not going to get too light for a few seasons. It's going to be some serious storytelling. But that's what makes it such a beautiful story. You know, is the overall arc of the story we're telling.
Vanessa, how was your mind and how was your state of heart also entering to this new season, knowing that Mother Mary, as a mother, knows exactly what's gonna come?
Yeah, I think, you know, I draw inspiration from so many mothers who've had to say goodbye to their children in a span of, you know, of maybe months or years, like going through some illness or some, you know, cancer or any of these things. Where it's just like you kind of have to learn how to say goodbye in many ways, right? And how you let go. And it's tough because for her, I think, you know, she kind of knew this was coming, but as any other human, you kind of push it away. Well, it's not happening yet, not happening yet. And last season we see that it kind of surprises her, that, like Jonathan said, the beginning of the end is coming, and it's now upon us. But I think as an actor, it's also, I don't want to try to have all the answers. It's in the questions that I find most of my inspiration. Like, how is it that a woman with her circumstances, how she's, you know, she started with this story when she was a girl, and she said yes from the very beginning, and how that commitment to this story, how am I there for my son till the very end, and, you know, have my heart broken, and how do I stay there for him, you know? And so that's all those things just inspire me and inspire where I have to look for answers.
Thank you so much for being with us on De Película. It was a pleasure to talk to each one of you. Congratulations on your roles, congratulations on the chosen, and congratulations on what's about to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
I'm out of time.